Good morning, everyone, and Shana Tova. Our tradition teaches that we should begin each day with a kavanah, with an intention, and a particular intention. If you'll join me on page 35, this is part of our morning ritual. Actually, we're supposed to do at home, and it's made its way into the Siddur so that communities can say this together. The words towards the bottom of the page are Hareini Mekabel, or Mekabelet, if you're identified with the female gender. Hareini Mekabel Alai Mitzvat Avoreh, behold, or this is a way of saying to God, here I am, I'm ready. This is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to accept the mitzvah of my Creator, Ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha, to love your fellow human being as yourself. And it is so appropriate to begin a Rosh Hashanah service with this kavanah because it's not often that we're all here together with our friends and neighbors all at the same time, together in a service this large. And so as we begin our service, I'd like you to take just a moment, a quiet moment, to greet the people around you, to know who it is that you're davening with, to know that you're davening not alone but in a community, and that our purpose here is to love one another. So please take a moment and welcome the people around you with a Shana Tova. Towards the bottom of page 35. rise now for the morning blessings on page 37.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher ata mesachvei bina lavchin ben yom uben layla.
Baruch atah Adonai, our God, ruler of time and space, who enables us to distinguish day from night.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher asani b'tzalmo.
Made me in the divine image.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher asani Yisrael.
Made me a Jew.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher asani b'chorim.
Made me free.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hokeach ivri.
Sight to the blind.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish harumim.
Clothes the naked.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim.
Releases the bound.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokeh kefufim.
Straightens those who are bent.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokah haaretz al hamayim.
Stretches out the earth over the water.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa li kol tzarki.
Who has provided for all my needs.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam amichim b'tzadek gaver.
Steadies our steps.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'gvura.
Strengthens the people Israel with courage.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'tikvara.
Crowns the people Israel with glory.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam anoten le'ayev koach.
Gives strength to the weary.
Master of the universe, grant me the ability to be alone. May it be my custom to go outdoors each day among the trees and grass, among all growing things. And there may I be alone and enter into prayer to talk with the one to whom I belong. May I express there everything in my heart, and may all the foliage of the field, all grasses, trees, and plants, awake at my coming, to send the powers of their life into the words of my prayer, so that my prayer and my speech are made whole. Through the life and spirit of all growing things, which are made as one by their transcendent source.
You may be seated. We come here this morning of Rosh Hashanah, beginning of a new year, with something in our heart. You may not even know what it is right now because we haven't been able to access it, because we need to cut away some of the barriers between us and our hearts. But each of us has in our hearts yearnings, needs. We often don't talk about that in Judaism, that we pray for what we yearn for. And that true prayer is avodah shebalev, the service of the heart. We replaced ancient sacrifices with the offerings of our heart, offering up what is in our heart as prayer, as a way of connecting. In the Psalm on page 44, King David expresses his deepest yearning. He says, if I had only one wish, if I could just ask one thing of you, God, it is to be in your presence, to dwell in your palace. I invite us to this morning to search our own hearts. I invite you to search your heart, to offer up the yearning, the longing, the one question, right? Achat sha'alti, I ask just one thing. What is the one thing that you would ask of on this auspicious day, that you would put before God and the universe? And then I want to invite you to pray from that place, to pray from that yearning, to open your mouth and let song come out, and let that yearning be expressed in the tone and the volume of your voice. Even if the only Hebrew words that you speak are lie, 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 right? If you know how to say lie, 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 you can participate in this service. You can pray. And if you can read transliteration or read Hebrew or even just echo what the davening team is singing, then you too can pray. And so I want to invite us all this morning to pray from our yearning and to let that yearning be expressed in song. We begin on page 44. It's the 7th line down, depending on how you count. Now as we turn to page 47. And this is your opportunity to sing. If you can sing either the verses or Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo, page 47.
Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo, Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo.
58. You may be seated. Hayom Harat Olam. Today the world is created. Today the world is made anew. This world and our lives and every moment we have is a gift, an unearned gift that we should celebrate every day and every year. The verse on page 58, the sixth line down, Magadlu.
Magadlu, Masechaya, Me'od Hamku, Machshevo,
Page 60. page 63. David wrote the Psalms, most of them, and when he got to the end, to the last Psalm, Psalm 150, it's as though he ran out of words, and all there was music. The purest form of prayer, music with every kind of instrument, even with our voices. Page 63, in the middle.
Hallelujah, 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 El Bekocho, hallelujah, Birki Ahuzo, hallelujah, Bigurotav, hallelujah, Kerobulo, hallelujah, Beteka Shofar, hallelujah, Beneder Bechinor, hallelujah, Betofu Mahol, hallelujah, Beminim Berugav, hallelujah, Betzil Tzalei Shama, hallelujah, Betzil Tzalei Teruah, Kol Neshama Tehalel Yahar, hallelujah, Kol Neshama Tehalel Yahar, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Put your hands together.
Hallelujah, 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 El Bekocho, hallelujah, Biki Ahuzo, hallelujah, Bigurotav, hallelujah, Kerobulo, hallelujah, hallelujah,
Sometimes you just don't know when to stop singing. And that's okay. That's the soul overflowing. We now turn to page 69. And I want to just say a few words of welcome now, as more of you have come in this morning. First of all, I want to welcome our new musical director, Danny Tavbin, who just started in this position back in June and has had a steep learning curve this summer as we prepared for the high holidays. And I want to thank her and Yasha Koach for her efforts. And we're joined also by Ariel Feingold, our previous musical director. And if you're here tomorrow for services, all three generations of Shir Hadash musical directors will be here. Colby will also be here tomorrow singing. And it's really a testament to the growth and evolution of this service through three wonderful women and their beautiful voices bringing each their soul to this service. And I hope that you feel that coming through. And I also want to welcome my colleague, Rabbi Josh Katzan. Most of you remember Rabbi Katzan. He was my predecessor here for 5 years, and then was in New York for a number of years, now in Los Angeles. And I announced this before the high holidays, and you all know that this is a tough time for me right now. And I want to thank Rabbi Katzan for agreeing to come out and support me and to be here to back me up. And he'll be giving the sermon this morning. And so with that, I want to express my appreciation to my friend and colleague. We go back a long way to Los Angeles. And I want to thank you for being here. And with that, I want to welcome you to take the bima.
Wow. Let's all take it. Can you all hear me? Let's all take a deep breath. Generally, if I'm lucky, I get one really beautiful moment during Rosh Hashanah. So far, I've had 4. Rosh Hashanah is altogether different. The Gemara teaches us, warns us, not to make our tefillah, not to make our prayer keva, set and fixed. And that's very difficult, especially if you're a prayerful person. The more we say the same words, the less they appear, the less we feel them in our heart. It's not to say that we don't really mean them, but the less we're in touch with how we mean them. And so the challenge is always how to infuse kavanah, intention, into our words. And then on Rosh Hashanah, how much the more so. And now here we are, in the year 2017, sharing the same words, trying to breathe the same breath as our ancestors from a very long time ago, whose world was so different, they expressed it differently than the way we live our lives. And the very first word is something we don't really understand. The first word of our prayer this morning is Hamelech, the king. For us, that inspires a sense of drama, but a drama of the stage, not necessarily a drama of the heart. To our medieval ancestors, it was the drama of the heart. So I would invite you, in order to try to keep a little kavanah going, think about what our sages tried to inspire in all of us, which was awe. That moment where everything stops and you say, whoa, this is real. This is happening. And to steal the title of one of my late colleagues' books, this is real and you're completely unprepared. Imagine a day when there was a king who had control over your very life, whether you lived or died, whether you could work or not, whether you could travel or not, whether you would be humiliated or not. Try in these moments that we use the language, the medieval language of kingship, to try to imagine what would it be like if I could let go completely of my sense of control, of my life, of my world, and to realize that every day we walk the earth, it is a gift that we are accountable to. We are accountable to the way we live our lives, and today we make an accounting before the one for whom everything came into being. I'm trying to find words, and you could fill in your own words. What will make everything stop? What will make you lose a little bit of breath and force you to take a deeper breath? To be ever present in the moment and honest with yourself. You give over as an offering everything you are and everything you've been this whole past year to the one that created you. That's Hamelech.
Please rise as we turn to page 69.
Hamelech Yoshev al kisei ram v'nisan ומקדוש שמו, וכתוב רננו צדיקים באדוני, לישרים נאווה תהילה. בפי ישרים תתרומם, ובדברי צדיקים תתברך, ולבלשון חסידים תתקדש, ובקרב קדושים תתהלל, ובמקלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל, שכן חובת כל יצרים לפניך, אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, להודות, להלל, לשבח, לפאר, לרומם, להדר, לברך, להעלה ולקלס, על כל דברי שירות ותשבחות, דוד בן ישי עבדך משיחך, ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו.
Bottom of page 69.
ברכות והודאות מעתה ועד עולם, ברוך אתה אדוני, אל מלך גדול בתשבחות, אל ההודעות אדון הנפלאות, הבוחר בשירי זמרה, מלך אל חיי העולמים.
Page 70.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברך ירטה וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח, יתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה לעילה. מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא ויאמרו אמן.
Page 71. Yeah. Sofer Amar Ve'yeh. You may be seated. We continue on page 72. We continue on page 75.
Tiparach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach maaseh yadecha v'al me'orei or she'asita yiparuch haselah.
Tiparach Tzurenu Malkeinu v'goaleinu v'rekdushim sh'lashem.
Kulam avuhim, kulam berurim, kulam giborim, v'kulam osim be'ema, u'yira ratzon konam, v'kulam potchim et pihem, b'kedusha u'torah, v'shira u'v'zimra, barchim shahabchim, fa'arim u'maritzim, makdishim u'mamlichim, et shem ha'el ha'melech ha'gadol, ha'gibo v'hanora kadoshu, וכולם מקבלים עליהם עול מלכות שמיים זה מזה ונותנים רשות זה לזה להקדיש ליוצרם בנחת רוח בשפה ורוח ובנימה קדושה כולם כאחד עונים ואומרים ביראה קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות ולא כל הארץ כבודו האופנים וחיות הקודש ורעש גדול מתנסים לעומת צרפים לעומתם משבחים ואומרים ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו המחדש בטובו בכל יום תמיד מעשה וראשית כאמור לעושי אורים גדולים כי לעולם חסדו אור חדש על ציון תאיר ונזכחו לנו מהרה לאורו ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר המאורות.
Page 76.
Haftarah
We continue quietly on 76. Gather us together as a community, gather us together as humanity from the four corners of the earth, just as we gather together the four corners of our talit, as we prepare to praise God's name in the Shema. Bottom of 76. Adonai Elohim Emet v'yatziv nechon v'yam. We continue on page 78. ודור ודור הוא קיים ושמו קיים וכיסו נכון ומלכותו ואמונתו לעד קיימת ודבריו חיים קיימים נאמנים נחמדים לעדו לעולמים על אבותינו ואמותינו על עלינו ועל בנינו ועל דורותינו ועל דורותינו ישראל הברכה אמת שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו מלכנו מלך אבותינו ואמותינו גואלנו גואל אבותינו V'imotenu yatzur yitzur yeshuatenu podenu matzilenu me'olam shemecha ein Elohim zulatecha ezrat avotenu v'imotenu atahu me'olam. We continue quietly through page 79. We'll join together in a moment at the top of page 80. Standing now as we turn to the Amidah on page 81. I spoke earlier of the yearnings of our hearts, and that prayer should emanate from that yearning. I invite us now as we begin our first Amidah of Rosh Hashanah to pray from our hearts, to pray from the Hebrew, from the English, to explore the commentaries and inspirational writings in the margins, or to pray in your own way from your heart, from your own words. Page 81. Together. Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Rachel, page 82. We turn now to page 86 for the Kedusha. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, B'chol Baruch Kevod Adonai. Shine. remain standing now as we continue in our personal recitation of the Amidah from this point till page 91. And when you complete your Amidah, you may be seated. Page 87 through 91. rise now on page 92 as the ark is opened.
One of the most powerful experiences in life that brings meaning to a moment is nostalgia. In these moments that we come together for this ritual of Rosh Hashanah, and we come to a prayer like this one, is a moment when all of the preparation that we've been doing with all of this beautiful singing, pushing air through our body to open up our hearts, we should be supremely open to the power of nostalgia. There's nothing more powerful than feeling like you want to make your own parents proud. There's nothing more powerful than feeling like you owe something to your past, to your history, who are responsible for you. Avinu Malkeinu, at the time I thought it was weird, but it was a popular song at my grandfather's Shabbat table. He loved to sing Avinu Malkeinu at Shabbos. I thought it was weird. Unfortunately, when he declined, he became senile and he couldn't really remember anything. He could respond to Kaddish and he could sing Avinu Malkeinu. It was the last song that we sung together. It's a nostalgic moment like that that opens us up to our Avinu Malkeinu, our parent up in heaven, for whom we owe everything and for whom we want to make proud. Take a breath, welcome in your past, and let us sing for a better future.
Page 92.
We have sinned in your presence. Avinu Malkeinu, act toward us kindly in accord with your name.
Avinu Malkeinu, make this a good new year for us.
Avinu Malkeinu, annul every harsh decree against us.
Avinu Malkeinu, nullify the designs of our foes.
Avinu Malkeinu, frustrate the plottings of our enemies.
Avinu Malkeinu, rid us of every oppressor and adversary.
Avinu Malkeinu, rid your covenant people of disease, war, hunger, captivity, and destruction.
Avinu Malkeinu, forgive and pardon all our sins.
Avinu Malkeinu, do not look toward our sins and transgressions. Blot them out.
Avinu Malkeinu, return us to presence fully penitent.
Avinu Malkeinu, send complete healing to the sick among your people.
Avinu Malkeinu, remember us favorably.
Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us for good in the book of life.
Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us in the book of redemption.
Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us in the book of sustenance.
Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us in the book of merit.
Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us in the book of forgiveness.
Avinu Malkeinu, achzirenu b'shuva shlema lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Shalach Refuah Shlema Lecholei Amecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Zachreinu Bizikaron Tov Lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Kadveinu Besefer Chaim Tovim. Avinu Malkeinu, Kadveinu Besefer Geula Vishua. Avinu Malkeinu, Kadveinu Besefer Panasa Vechalkala. Avinu Malkeinu, Kadveinu Besefer Zechuyot. Avinu Malkeinu, Kadveinu Besefer Selicha Umechila. We continue responsively in the English on page 92.
Avinu Malkeinu, cause our salvation to flourish soon.
Avinu Malkeinu, cause your people Israel to be exalted.
Avinu Malkeinu, raise up your anointed with strength.
Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice, be kind, sympathize with us.
Avinu Malkeinu, accept our prayer willingly and lovingly.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, remember that we are but dust.
Avinu Malkeinu. And our children.
Avinu Malkeinu, do this for the sake of those who were martyred for your holy name.
Avinu Malkeinu, do this for the sake of those who were slaughtered for their exclusive devotion to you.
Avinu Malkeinu, do this for the sake of those who went through fire and water to sanctify your holy name.
Avinu Malkeinu, do this for your sake, if not for ours.
Avinu Malkeinu, have mercy on us, answer us, for our deeds are insufficient. Deal with us charitably and lovingly and redeem us.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Standing as the ark is closed. Page 94.
עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו.
We arrive now at the Torah service on page 96.
Ein kamocha va'Elohim Adonai ve'ein ma'asecha malchut kol olamim u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'dor Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed Adonai oz le'amo yitem Adonai Shalom, Aharamim, Etiva
Avinu Malkeinu, Master of Peace, help us and strengthen us so that we always strive for peace. May there be harmony among all people, their companions and friends. May there be no discord among the members of our families. You who establish peace above, extend peace upon us and the whole world. May we draw close to you and your Torah in truth, and may we all be bound together, carrying out your will wholeheartedly. Master of Peace, bless us with peace, and let us say Amen. We're in the middle of page 97. Page 98, we continue responsively.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonai Kadosh
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo Gad Nai Tzibun may be seated. Shana Tova, everyone. Shana Tova. Welcome, welcome. If I didn't have a chance to welcome you earlier, Shana Tova. Our Torah reading for the first day of Rosh Hashanah begins on page 100. And this is a narrative from the Torah that's familiar to us. And it's an enigmatic text. It's not the text you would expect for today. We say today is Yom Harat Olam, the day the world was created. And so you might expect that we'd read about the story of creation. But instead we read these enigmatic stories from the life of Abraham that really are about testing. Testing us, testing our moral character, testing our resilience, and stories that we are to contemplate on the high holy days, to do the same kind of self-reflection. I won't say a lot about this Torah reading, but I just want to draw attention to one thing. You'll remember that Abraham and Sarah are not able to conceive, and so Sarah gives over to Abraham her maid, right, to be a concubine to him and to thereby give children through her to Abraham. And so later we'll find out that Sarah becomes jealous of Hagar and banishes her. And she's in the wilderness. She's vulnerable. She's out in the wild, and she cries out to God. And it's when she cries that she notices that there's a well, that there's water there, and that God indeed will care for her. But the Midrash tells us that well was always there. It was already there, and it took her act of reaching out that caused it to be seen, that caused her to see it. And so she calls God Chai El Ro'i, God, the one who makes me see, the God who shepherds me. So this morning we're going to invite people up to take Aliyot to the Torah. And for those of you that come to Shir Hadash services on a regular basis, you know that we ask people to introduce themselves, to say a few words. And we've asked those taking Aliyot this morning to introduce themselves and to reflect on a theme of this parsha, of this Torah reading, of hope, of being able to see. What is it? The question we ask them is, what is it that inspires you right now to be hopeful for the year to come? What inspires you to look ahead to this year with hope and to see what maybe can't be seen right now? So, with that, we'll begin our Torah reading on page 100. And we call forward David Dansky for the first aliyah. Hold on a second, David. Ve'ya'azor ve'yagen ve'yoshia lechol hachosim bo v'nomar amen. Hakol havgodol Eloheinu utnu chavod laTorah ya'amod. David Yoel ben Mordechai Rishon Baruch Shnatan Torah le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato ve'tem advekim b'Adonai Elohechem chaim kulchem hayom.
Thank you. Hi, I'm David Dansky, and I'd like to wish everybody a Happy New Year. The theme is inspiration, and I have two inspirations that I want to mention. The first inspiration is the memory of my beautiful mother, Helen Dansky, whose first yard site is coming up on Monday. She always bragged about the superiority of Jewish calendrical wisdom. She said this is the time of year when the year really turns. It's really a new year at this point in time because with the leaves and the trees, and it's really the big change in the year. So we miss her. My second inspiration is memory of my father-in-law, Jordan Perlmutter, and we miss him every day, and we think of him every day.
On page 100.
Borchu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher bocharbanu mikol ha'amim. V'noton lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Did you find your place? Oh. Probably would have helped if we found the place first. So let's find that real quick. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. All right.
Amen. Vadonai, Hakadet Sarah, Kasher Amar, Vayas Adonai, Sarah Kasher Diber, Betahar, Betelech Sarah, Abraham, Ben Lizkunav, Lamoed, Asher Diber, Oto Elohim, Vayikra Abraham, Et Shem Beno, Hanolad Lo, Asher Yalda Lo, Sarah, Yitzchak, Vayamal Abraham, Et Yitzchak Beno, Bein Shmoni, Bein Shmonat Yamim, Kasher Tiva, Oto Elohim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher noten lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam notat v'teichenin. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
To David and Yashba suggests to us chanting beautiful high holiday trope. We are on page 100. Second Aliyah. Ya'amod Moshe Eliezer ben Abraham Sheni.
Hi, I'm Mark Alpert. Hard for me to believe that just last month I spoke at a smaller group than this about the three most important women in my life. All of them are a great inspiration to me. My late sister, my loving wife, and we just buried my mother who lived an amazing life of 100 years. She was an amazing inspiration to our family, to me, and to everyone who she came in contact with. I thought it was even more extraordinary that when we buried Mom, we had my sister and my father and Mom, and next to Mom were her three best friends in life. They had planned 30 years ago to dance in heaven together. So, thank you.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bocharbanu mikol ha'amim v'nosan lanu et Kedusha. Baruch atah Adonai nosen haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Avraham ben Matshana, Vihivahad ledlo, et Yitzchak beno, Vatomer Sarah tzechok, Asali Elohim, Kol Hashomea Yitzchak li, ותאמר מי מילל אברהם, איני כבנים שרה, כי ילדתי ואין לי זקונה. ויגדל הילד ויגמל, ויעש אברהם משתה גדול, ביום היגמל את יצחק. ותרא שרה את בן הגר המצרית, אשר ילדה לאברהם מצחק. ותאמר לאברהם גרש המה הזאת ואת בנה, כי לא יירש בן המה הזאת עם בני עם יצחק. וירא הדבר מאוד בעיני אברהם על אודות בנו. ויאמר אלוהים אל אברהם, אל יירא בעיניך על הנער ועל אמתך כל אשר תאמר אליך, שרה שמע בקולה, כי ביצחק יקרא לך זרע.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nasa lanu devas u'nes v'dayeklo v'davis peinu Baruch Adonai v'yosei ha'torah.
Amen.
Amen. We call upon Mindy Miller. Ta'amod Michal Bat Yitzchak Befega Shlishit.
My name is Mindy Miller, and I guess I draw my inspiration from the memory of my late parents serving in Florida. But looking towards this next year, I draw my inspiration from my family, my husband, my children, my grandchildren. My girls encourage me to grow and take risks just like I did them.
Don Jacobson. Don Jacobson? No? This way. All right. Let's move it. Figure it out. Just spot me really well. All right. Let's see. What was our last word? Where were we? Okay, here we go. Right here. That's okay. That's right. Okay. So just take this and just you're going to touch here. Let's make this.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'chavanu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Oh, here we go. וגם את בני עמה לגוי אשימנו כי זרעך הוא וישכם אברהם בבוקר ויקח לחם חמת מים וייתן אל הגר שם על שכמה ואת הילד וישלחה ותלך ותיטע במדבר באר שבע ויכלו המים מן החמת ותשלח את הילד תחת אחד השיחים ותלך השיחים ותלך ותשב לה מנגד הרחק, כי תחווה קשת כי אמרה אל אראה במות הילד, ותשב מנגד ותישא את קולה ותבך. וישמע אלוהים את קול הנער, ויקרא מלאך אלוהים אל הגר מן השמיים, ויאמר לה מלאך הגר, אל תיראי כי שמע אלוהים אל קול הנער באשר הוא שם. Oh, I'm sorry. קומי שאי את הנער והחזיקי את ידך בו, כי לגוי גדול עשימנו. ויפקח אלוהים את עיניה ותראה באר מים, ותלך ותמלא את החמת מים, ותשק את הנער. ויהי אלוהים את הנער ויגדל, וישב במדבר, ויהי רוע וקשת. וישב במדבר פרען, ותיקח לו עמו איש מארץ מצרים. Amen. For the next Aliyah, we call upon Barbara Gold. Ta'amod Batya Bat Yaakov Halevi Revi'it.
Lashana Tova. My name is Barbara Goldberg, and I truly get inspiration from our congregation here at Shir Hadash. Your strength and your warmth, and I pray for everybody's resilience in the year ahead. Baruch atah Adonai. Whoopsie.
Can I show you? To that.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leol.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher baharbanu mikol ha'amim, v'nahatan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. We're on page 102, fourth Aliyah. Yashkoach to Barbara, and also Yashkoach to Hetty Weinberg. Hetty always sings Torah so beautifully, and I know that this year she's holding in her heart the memory of her late husband Michael, who passed away just recently, and may his memory continue to be a blessing to you and your family. For the next Aliyah, I would call upon Steve Levine. Ya'amod Shimon Leib ben Mordechai Chamishi.
Good morning. My name is Steve Levine, and I was asked to describe what inspires. And rabbis, I tried to find inspiration in the fifth Aliyot, about 7 years being given as contractual consideration. Couldn't find it. I think inspiration comes from what roles you're portrayed or perceived to be seen in your various avenues of life. If I asked my 14-year-old daughters, I would imagine they would think that I gain inspiration by finding ways to embarrass them. I think that's what dads do. I think for me, inspiration comes in doing the best I can in the various roles that I play. That's being a father, a son, a husband, a boss, and a friend. So, thank you.
We're on page 102 in the middle.
Baruch Hu Adonai HaMorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Vayatzev Avraham et Sheva Kitzot Hatzon levadhem. Vayomer Avimelech el Avraham Mahena Sheva kibasot ha'ele Asher hitzavta levadana. Vayomer ki et sheva kevasot tikach miadi va'avorti eli le'edah ki chafarti et haber hazot al ken kara lamakom hahu be'er shavaki Sham nishbu shnehem vayikrutu brit biver shava vayakom Avimelech ubichol tzar sevao vayashuvu el eretz Filistim vayita eshel biver shava vayikra sham b'shem Adonai el olam Vayagor Abraham Beretz Filistim Yamim Rabim.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten
Amen.
And Yashar Koach to David Rosenthal chanting Torah. We'll pause now for prayer for healing. And we should berach for those in our world and in our lives who are in need of healing. Believe me, I've been praying a lot for healing. And I've learned something important in the last couple of years, which is that this is a lesson I learned as a hospital chaplain too, that there's always healing. Even when there's no cure, there's healing. Healing is always possible. healing of spirit, healing of relationships, all sorts of healing that we need in our lives. And so at this time I invite you to pray for healing, to hold in your hearts those in need of healing in your life, and even to say their names out loud. We won't be able to go around the whole room to hear every name, but I invite you to actually say those names out loud, to vocalize them, to make those prayers real by putting them into words. And so at this time I ask you to please rise as we say Misha Berach together.
Ana Elna, Ana Elna, Ana Elna, Rivana La, oh, Ana Elna, Ana Elna, Ana
Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah u'yevarech et kol hacholim v'yasir mehem kol machala v'yishlach bimhera refuah shlema refuat hanefesh refuat haguf v'yishlach bracha v'hatzlacha b'chol maseh yadehem im kol Yisrael acheim v'nomar Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless all who are ill and remove from them any sickness. Send complete healing of body and of spirit. Send blessing and good fortune to all the work of their hands and to all the people of Israel. And let us say Amen.
Amen. Ana Elna, Ana Elna, Ana Elna, Rivana La, oh, Ana Elna, Ana Elna, Ana Elna, Rivana La, oh, Ana Elna, Ana Elna, Ana Elna, Rivana
And refuah shlema to all in need of healing, and let us say Amen. Remain standing now as we'll prepare to lift and dress the Torah. And call forward Joel Israel and Marcy Bala. Torah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al yad Adonai v'yad Moshe.
Hine ma tov u'manayim
shevet
achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Navaweku yom kunti wekusad yusad Avaru kanda okutula. Navaweku yom kunti
Son, you saw, you'll find the words in the service guide. Rukanda okutula, hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim second. And Joel, you can have a seat over here. You may be seated. Right now, as we have the Torah out, I just wanted to draw some attention. Many of you know that our beautiful, this beautiful Torah that was dedicated a few years ago in honor of Jordan Essie Perlmutter has beautiful silver designed by our wonderful artist Ira Sherman, a member of our congregation. And we're very happy to also unveil today a new Ner Tamid for our ark that matches this beautiful Torah decoration, also made by Ira. And I also want to thank the Rubens for, I know that this ark is very special to you, dedicated in honor of Lynn. May her memory be for a blessing. And now we've added a beautiful Ner Tamid for the first time. We just put it up yesterday. And this is in honor of Kobe. And the inscription on it says, Ner Adonai Nishmat Adam. God's flame, God's Ner. The flame of God is the human spirit. And so just wanted to draw attention to that for just a moment. And we're going to continue now with our Haftarah, read by Caleb Boxer. You'll find the Haftarah on page 110. We're going to be reading a selection of the Haftarah, beginning on page 110. And I also just want to say about Kayla here. Kayla is very modest, but she is a really fantastic young woman who is the president of our youth group now for 2 years. And Kayla just brings this amazing spirit to our youth group. She breathes life into it along with our youth director, Danny, and all of the leadership of the board. But Kayla has a really special neshama that, and an incredible sense of humor that brings out, makes youth group really fantastic for all the kids who participate. So with that, I want to thank you for that and for chanting our Haftarah this morning. Page 110.
תתפלל חנה ותאמר עלת ליבי באדוני רמה קרני באדוני רחב היא על אויביו כי שמחתי בישועתך אין קדוש כאדוני כי אין בלתך ואין צור כאלוהינו אל תרבו תדברו גבוהה גבוהה יצא עתק מפיכם כי אל דעות אדוני ולא נתקנו עלילות קשת גיבורים חטאים ונכשלים עזרו חיל שבעים בעליכם נזכרו ורעבים חדלו עד Ashir, Mashpil of Neromain, Meki me afar, da, me ashpot, yarim evyom, lehoshiv imidivim, bechisei chavod yanchileim, ki ladonai mitukei eret, vayashet alehem tevel, raglei chasidam yishmor, ursheim bachoshech yidamu, kilo v'choach yikbar ish, Adonai yechatu merivav, Allah b'shamayim yor'ein, Adonai yadim avtzei aretz, vayiten oz l'malko, vayarem keren meshicho, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, zur kol ha'olamim, tzadik b'chol hanorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer ve'yoseh, hamdaber u'mkayem, shekol devarav emet v'tzedek. Ne'eman atahu Adonai Eloheinu, v'ne'emanim dvarecha, v'dabarecha nidvarecha, achor lo yashuv rikam, ki el melech ne'eman, v'rachaman atah, baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'ne'eman, b'chol devarav. Rachem al Zion, ki hi beit chayenu, v'la aluva nefesh toshia, b'mheira b'yameinu, baruch atah Adonai, mesameach Zion b'laneha. Samechenu, Adonai Eloheinu, B'Eliyahu hanavi avdecha, u'v'malchut Beit David Mashiachecha, b'mheira yavo v'yachil libeinu, al kiso lo yisheb zar, v'lo yinchalu od achirim et kevodo, ki v'shem kodshecha nishbata lo, shelo yichbed neiro le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen David.
Amen.
Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'ni'im ve'al yom hazikaron hazeh, shenatat lanu Adonai Eloheinu, lechavod u'letif'aret. Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim lach, u'mvarchim otach, yitbarach shimcha b'fi kol chaytam micheron va'ed, u'dvarecha emet v'kayam la'ad, baruch atah Adonai, melech al kol ha'aretz, mekadesh Yisrael,
Melech al kol haaretz, mekadesh Yisrael.
vayom hazikaron.
Amen. Yasher koach. Yasher koach. Shana tova. Before we continue, in a moment we'll be saying the prayers for our country and for the state of Israel. at this time, I'd like to call forward Inbal Ashkenazi and Ari Bird to join me. And I want to take a moment to introduce Inbal. In Israel, there's a wonderful program that allows young people to defer a year of army service, and before they enlist in the army, they do what is called a Shanat Sherut. Shanat Sherut means a year of service, and they often do this service within Israel, serving underserved communities in outlying places often, and also abroad, serving Jewish communities around the world. And Inbal is our Shin Shinit. Shanat Sherut is Shin Shin, so we call them Shin Shinit. And she has just arrived recently and will be, and she's here to provide Jewish programming and provide Israel education throughout our community, including HEA. And she is brought here by Jewish Colorado as a program of our connection with Ramat HaNegev, with our sister region in Israel. So with that, I would like to call forward Inbal and Ari, and we'll begin with the prayer for our country. Please rise. Page 117. Please join me in English. Our God and God of our ancestors, with mercy accept our prayer on behalf of our country and its government. Pour out your blessings upon this land, upon its leaders, its judges, officers, and officials who are devoted in good faith to the needs of the public. Instruct them with the laws of your Torah and help them understand your rules of justice so that peace and security, happiness and freedom will never depart from our land. We pray, Adonai, God, whose spirit is in all creatures, awaken that spirit within all the inhabitants of our land. Uproot from their hearts hatred and malice, jealousy and strife. Plant among those of different nationalities and faiths who dwell in our nation love and companionship, peace and friendship. May it therefore be your will that our land be a blessing to all who dwell on earth and cause them to dwell in friendship and freedom. Speedily fulfill the vision of your prophets. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. For all of them, from the least of them to the greatest, shall know me. And let us say, Amen. Please join Inbal in Hebrew on page 117 for the prayer for the state of Israel.
אבינו שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו.
ברך את מדינת ישראל, ראשית צמיחה יומתנו.
הגן עליה בעברת חסדך, ופרוס עליה סוכת שלומך. ושלח אורך ואמתך לראשיה, שריה ויועציה, ותקנם בעצה טובה מלפניך. חזק את ידי מגני ארץ קודשנו, והנחילם אלוהינו ישועה, ועטרת ניצחון תעטרם. ונתת שלום בארץ, ושמחה עולם ליושביה, ונאמר אמן.
Amen.
Avinu Sheba Shemaim, stronghold and redeemer of the people Israel, bless the state of Israel, the beginning of our redemption. Shield it with your love. Spread over it the shelter of your peace. Guide its leaders and advisors with your light and your truth. Help them with your good counsel. Strengthen the hands of those who defend our holy land. Deliver them. Crown their efforts with triumph. Bless the land with peace and its inhabitants with lasting joy. And let us say, Amen.
Yashkoach. We now continue with we remain standing for the blowing of the shofar. Please join me on page 118. On the left-hand side, please join me in the reading Dalet. In your great mercy, Adonai, bring us near to your presence. Help us to break down the barriers that keep us far from you. Falsehood and faithlessness, callousness and selfishness, injustice and hard-heartedness. Our hope is in you, for you respond in mercy when we sound the shofar. We turn now to page 119 for the sounding of the shofar. My pleasure to call upon Kivi Dahlin. Amen. Amen. May it be your will, our God and God of our ancestors, that the cries of this shofar rise up to your throne, and that they serve as atonement for all our sins. Baruch atah, Master of mercy. Joyous are the people who experience the calling of the shofar. Adonai, they walk by the light of your presence. They continuously rejoice in your name and are exalted through your righteousness. Yeshkoach Kivi. We now will continue with returning the Torah to the Ark. And we turn to page 121.
Yehalelu et Shem Adonai, Tinizkav Shemo Levado, Odo al Eretz v'shamayim, v'yarem kerem le'amo, Tehila lechol chasidav, v'ivnei Yisrael am kerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
right, middle of page 123.
Shana Tova. You can all hear me okay? Yeah. This is too much. They hear me breathe also. So before I offer my Devar Torah, I'd like to say a few words. But very few. First of all, I don't know how to express how warm and wonderful I feel being back here. I don't want to say it's an honor, but it certainly is a privilege. You have no idea how lucky you are. I just want you to take a moment to take a breath and just think about how much incredible goodness can happen if you're given the chance to dream. I think Shir Hadash is the child of dreaming. And here you are. And I'm completely blown away. So, Mazal Tov to the Alliance community and Yasher Koach to this extraordinary team. So, I have a question. How many Jewish grandmothers does it take to change a light bulb? None. It's okay. I'll sit in the dark. So Dr. Freud has been gone a long time, so I will resist the psychoanalytic opportunity here to analyze this joke and what it might say about Jews and guilt. But I will say this. Maybe a little guilt isn't such a bad thing. Our proverbial grandmother is sitting in the dark, and maybe it is our fault. Maybe you wouldn't kill us to pay a little attention. Our grandmother is sitting in the dark, and someone has to change the bulbs. Rosh Hashanah is about checking in. It's about doing a cheshbon hanefesh, a personal, ethical, and spiritual accounting as individuals and as a community, and then committing ourselves to changing the bulbs to bring more and better light into our lives and into our world, and boy, do we need it. As so many of us feel, our world seems to be growing a little darker. It feels different somehow. It feels worse. Each of us can identify places in our lives and the life of our nation where we perceive a growing lack of light, of burning out bulbs, and of a world slipping into deeper darkness. Today it feels as though we need these holidays and each other more than ever before. It should be simple, but bringing light is a tough job. It can feel like as quickly as we put fresh bulbs in, others appear to be working just as hard to take them out. The futility of it all can cause us to feel pangs of despair. Despair erodes our fortitude to standing up for our hopes, our dreams, and our ideals, and would undermine our courage to change. However, let us not forget the great teaching of Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, who taught, remember that there is a meaning beyond absurdity. Be sure that every little deed counts and every word has power. Never forget that you can still do your share to redeem the world in spite of all absurdities and frustrations and disappointments. Absurdity indeed, in abundance, but every deed counts and every deed makes a difference. One of the unique challenges we're facing today is a growing sense of distance between one another. Ironically, this is in part a consequence of being so overwhelmingly electronically connected. It's weird. We have more ways to communicate with masses of people than ever before in human history, and yet we are apparently retreating to enclaves of like-minded voices and like-minded partisan news sources, and hearing others less, if at all. Apparently, being connected is not the same as closeness. And alas, so much of our face-to-face time has been replaced by Facebook. Phone calls have been replaced with texting. Interviews with politicians have been replaced with messages condensed to 140 characters or less. We have more frequent communications, but fewer conversations. I fear we are experiencing a diminished sense of humanity and forgetting how to talk with one another. And I will be the first to exclaim guilt in this regard. I woke up to realize I have no idea what so many in our country feel and what their pain is. No idea. I don't talk to any of them. That's on me. Not talking to one another brings darkness to our community. This reminds me of the plague of darkness, choshech, that was meted against the Egyptians. As we read in Exodus, or we read in Exodus, darkness descended upon all the land of Egypt for 3 days. People could not see one another. I'm doing this on purpose for the millennial generation. People could not see one another, but the Israelites enjoyed light in their dwelling places. A darkness so thick that they could no longer see one another, and it feels like that is slowly encroaching upon us. But the Israelites enjoyed light in their dwellings. The prophet Isaiah proclaimed the people Israel to be a light unto the nations, and or lagoyim. You're all familiar with that. He writes, in the name of God, I created you and appointed you a covenant people, a light to the nations, opening eyes deprived of light, rescuing prisoners from confinement, from the dungeon those who sit in darkness. But how? My friends, our tradition holds many insights into living an enlightening existence. Secrets to changing the bulbs and turning the lights on, and I will explore just a few, I promise. First, be a mensch. Second, pluralistic thinking is good. 3, pursue justice. 4, be charitable. Give more tzedakah. And 5, show up more often. Spend more time at shul, at community meetings, with friends, one another. The 5-point plan. Number 1, be a mensch. The great psychologist and survivor of Auschwitz, Viktor Frankl, he nailed it when he wrote in his epic book, Man's Search for Meaning, that there are only 2 races in the world, the decent and the indecent. Be decent. Be a mensch. Take the high road, hold your tongue, breathe and think before reacting in anger and before responding on Facebook. Do the right thing even if no one is watching. To be a real mensch is as well to replace the misguided bumper sticker that emphasizes committing random acts of kindness. No. Replace that with a more truer principle. Commit regular and intentional acts of decency. Our decency should be reliable, not random. With every intentional act of decency, dignity is brought to light, is brought to life, and another twist is given to a new bulb in this world. Number 2, pluralistic thinking. Pluralistic thinking is the basis of Judaism, and it's what makes Judaism a great tradition. We have not only survived but flourished because we have welcomed multiple points of view and made an art of machloket l'shem shamayim, argument for the sake of heaven. Meaning it's not about personal gain and boost to the ego, it's rather about getting to the point, the idea, and refining it. The sole agenda of machloket l'shem shamayim is refining understanding, not reducing to a singular agreement. This means that we learn to focus more on ideas and not on the person. This can be difficult. This means that we examine the credibility of an idea and raise objections based on evidence with a sincere drive to get to the truth, or at least as close to truth as we can. It also means we pursue having multiple views around the same table. Even if some ideas appear repugnant, there is no harm in discussion. If the idea is bad, it will remain bad. For some, this is a tall order, but being able to tolerate the annoying person or the annoying idea is a key to growing up ourselves. Please excuse me, I haven't been at this elevation for a long time. Holding on in these moments of being put off, of feeling put off, will increase and restore a sense of humanity. And that brings us closer to being able to listen and hear one another through the darkness. This is part of what brought light to the homes of the Israelites when the world outside was plagued with a darkness that did not allow people to see one another. Let's prefer to pursue persuasion over isolation. Listening to one another helps the world get brighter. Number 3, a radical and foundational concept in our Torah is tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. Justice, justice shall you pursue. The mitzvah to not take bribes, to have fair weights and measures, to not defraud one another, to not withhold the wages of a worker even overnight, to not privilege either the rich or the poor in judgment, and to not bear false witness. These are the pillars of what hold up a society over the waters of collapse. There are many societies in the world that will never become great because they are overwhelmingly corrupt in these precise ways. For example, Russia has never been great, except for a period of time their art was exceptional. But as a society, never really achieved greatness because they have for too long been committed to propaganda over truth, despite the fact that their government newspaper is called Pravda, which means truth. It's a terrible irony there. And over 30% of their GDP is accounted as bribes. It's very difficult to do business like that. It's very difficult to become a great nation with that in the background. In many countries around the world, and particularly Arab countries in the Middle East, there are outrageous conspiracy theories that run rampant, primarily because their governments and regimes essentially outlaw the discussion of facts. Opinions are free, and the newspapers there are filled with all kinds of opinions. But you may not brush up against fact. Once you take facts out of the equation, you accelerate decline. This is an intolerable corruption. It may sound obvious to us, but that is because despite our being somewhat flawed, the United States has arguably, until very recently, been supremely dedicated to facts over opinion. Even if there is argument over what the most credible facts are, we do take that somewhat for granted. We're trying to get to the facts. Thankfully, as a society, we still find bribery and miscarriage of justice repugnant, but we are ever at risk of having this erode. It starts with each of us. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. Pursue justice in your personal life. Pursue justice as a society. And make your pursuit of justice just. Justice adds tremendous wattage to the light that we would bring. A fuel of justice is money, resources, and the time that we can offer as tzedakah will bring light to this world. In her essential book, The Soul of Money, Transforming Your Relationship with Money and Life, author and master fundraiser Lynn Twist describes that there are two basic models of attitude toward money that reflect and shape who we are as people. Two models. First, the scarcity model is the disposition that we don't have enough. We're afraid that we won't have enough and that more is better. This model of scarcity, which many of us float into, sometimes in and out of throughout life, is a kind of insatiable black hole of want. Twist does a decent job describing how this leads to deeper darkness within a person's being and within their soul because of its primal self-centeredness. The alternative to scarcity is sufficiency, the model of relationship with money where a person not only sees themselves, but sees how he or she is connected to the larger landscape of humanity and looks at their resources with a sense of responsibility towards the whole. How can I, with my resources, offer something to others? And that's also why we say in the first paragraph of the Shema, primary to loving God with all your heart, with all your soul, and the word is sometimes translated as might, but I would translate it as resources. With all your heart, with all your soul, with all your being, and with all of your resources. As she puts it, money is like water. It can be a conduit for commitment, a currency of love. Money moving in the direction of our highest commitments nourishes our world and ourselves. What you appreciate appreciates. When you make a difference with what you have, it expands. Collaboration creates prosperity. True abundance flows from enough, never from more. Money carries our intention. If we use it with integrity, then it carries integrity forward. Know the flow. Take responsibility for the way your money moves in the world. It's amazing. Let your soul inform your money, and let your money express your soul. Oh. Access your assets, not only money, but also your own character and capabilities, your relationships, and other non-money resources. We are stewards of our planet and the well-being of our fellow humans. To address the needs of the needy with our resources changes the lives of the people being served and also changes us. The ideal is 10% of our net income. Giving helps to keep other people's lights on. And number 5. Already number 5? Wow. All right. Possibly the most important practice on this list that helps renewal, to heal and replenish relationship, which our world so desperately needs, is a very fundamental and basic aspect of Jewish tradition. And as Woody Allen put it, 90% of success is showing up. Showing up and spending time together. I can think of no better way to do this than to participate in creating and celebrating Shabbat. Shabbat meals as a single, as a family, and as a community. The framework and task is simple. Make plans to have people over for a meal and frame the meal with the sweet ritual of candles, of kiddush, of blessings over food. Have elevated conversation. And for the time being, I would recommend that everybody disallow talk of politics. We'll get there. But let's take a break. And make sure to make your favorite food. Because it's kind of all about the food. Shabbat is the excuse to get people together and to share that rarest of commodities in life, time. Real time. Face-to-face time. Time without the intrusion of people receiving and writing texts. And I don't say this just because I'm getting older. Texting when you're in the presence of another, when the intent is to share your time together, let's just say what it is. It's rude. You're stealing the opportunity to be with one another. It diminishes the holiness of your attempt to become close. I think that a sermon needs to be written on that, and I'd like to hear that sermon too. I'm not above it all myself. Conversation, stories, and discussion are what redeem and fulfill another primal aspect of our nature as social beings. Shabbat has transformed more souls and inspired more meaning than any other practice or moment in Judaism. So celebrate Shabbat. An albeit extreme but inspiring example of this is in a story that the Washington Post ran about a year ago, about a brilliant and charismatic white supremacist named Derek Black. Having been groomed to take on a leadership role in the white supremacist movement, Derek's father felt confident in sending him to a Florida university, not fearing the intellectual pollution often found at universities. There he, somewhat ironically, however, was invited early on by an Orthodox Jewish colleague, an Orthodox Jewish friend from one of his classes. Why don't you come over for Shabbat, Derek? I don't know who you are, but come on over. Okay. Derek fast became a regular at these meals, loving the conversation, loving the food, and the time that he spent with this little community of Jews who welcomed him with open arms. It is a fascinating story how this group handled it when it was eventually revealed who Derek was and what he'd been writing for years on white power blogs. But they kept inviting him. They made a decision early on not to confront him directly. They just kept inviting him. Little by little, the humanizing time and conversation that he spent with this group of young Jews influenced a paradigm shift for this would-be white supremacist leader. And he utterly transformed and gave up on all of his hate. Derek left the movement despite the ostracism and threats that he received from literally every person he knew, including his own family. Showing up and spending time together around a Shabbat table is humanizing, healing, and brings light into our dwellings. Our tradition is an enlightening one. It seeks to cultivate meaningful relationships and make people, society, and life better. Like our grandmother, we are perpetually dissatisfied with the state of affairs in the world. We rebel against darkness and have prescriptions for doing the work that would change everything, despite the difficulty. Our grandmother has very, very high expectations of us. So now I ask, how many Jews does it take to change the light bulbs in this world? The answer is clear. All of us. Shana Tova.
Yashkoach to Rabbi Katsan, and especially thanks from my heart for beautiful words of Torah. I want to announce as well that there will be a class taught during Musaf. If you'd like to join the class, it will be taught by Cherie Caro Schwartz. It's called Turning and Returning Tales, a study of stories for Rosh Hashanah. There are, I think, the ushers and signs outside will direct you to where, to the classroom where the class is taking place. We now arrive at the Musaf service for Rosh Hashanah. Which you'll find on page 141. We begin the Amidah with a prayer to God to open up our mouths and let song come out from our lips. We start on page 141. I'll ask you to please rise. page 141.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei ha'kol, V'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, U'mebi goel lifnei v'neihem, L'man shemo v'ahava. Misod chachamim u'nevonim, ומלמד דעת מבינים, הבטחה פי בתפילה ובתחנונים, לחלות ולחנן, פני מלך מלכי המלכים, ואדוני האדונים.
The ark was closed, but we remain standing as we continue at the bottom of page 141.
זוכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, וכותבנו בספר החיים, למענך, למענך, אלוהים חיים, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ופוקד שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע.
142.
מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך מהימין ומחייך ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך אב הרחמים, זוכר יצוריו לחיים ברחמים, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים.
Yashkoach to Noah Reuben and Lila Reuben. We call forward Emma and Sam Wynn to open the ark for Unatane Tokef, and we remain standing on page 143.
שופר גדול ייתקע וקול דממה דקה יישמע ומלאכים יחפצו וחילו עד היוחזו ושופר גדול וכל דממה דקה יישמע ומלאכים יחפצו וחיל אור עד היוחזו Please join Ed in the responsive reading on page 143 in the left-hand margin.
shall be truly alive, and who shall merely exist?
Who shall be happy, and who shall be miserable?
Who shall attain fulfillment in their day, and who shall not attain fulfillment in their day?
Who shall be tormented by the fire of ambition, and who shall be overcome by the waters of failure?
Who shall be pierced by the sharp sword of envy, and who shall be torn by the wild beast of resentment?
Who shall hunger for companionship, and who shall thirst for approval?
Who shall be shattered by the earthquake of social change, and who shall be plagued by the pressures of conformity?
Who shall be strangled by insecurity, and who shall be stoned in submission?
Who shall be content, and who shall wander in search of satisfaction?
Who shall be serene, and who shall be distraught?
Who shall be at ease, and who shall be afflicted with anxiety?
Who shall be poor in their own eyes, and who shall be rich in tranquility?
Who shall be brought low with futility, and who shall be exalted through achievement?
For repentance, prayer, and good deeds have the power to change the character of our lives.
Let us resolve to repent, to pray, and to do good deeds, so that we may begin a truly new year.
Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur Yechatenu Berosh Hashanah Yichatenu Yom Kippur Yechatenu. Page 144. Uteshuva, utefila, utzedaka, ma'avirin et roah hagzerah. But tshuva, tefila, and tzedakah have the power to transform the harshness of our destiny. Our praise of you accords with your essential nature, slow to anger and easily appeased. You do not desire the death of the sinner, but rather that we change our ways and live. You wait until the day of death, and if one returns, you accept that person back immediately. Truly, you are their creator and know the nature of your creatures, that they are only flesh and blood. We remain standing as the ark is closed, and we turn now to page 145 for the Kedusha.
Kesod siach sarfei kodesh, hamakdishim shimcha bakodesh, darei malayim darei mata, kakatuv al yad nebiecha, v'kara ze mi'amar. Kadosh, 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 Adonai tzvaot, melech kol haaretz kevodo, kevodo. Mahale olam mishartav shoalim ze lazeh, Aye mekom kevodo, leumatam baruch yomeru, baruch kevod Adonai, mimkomo, mimkomo. Uyifen barachamim, Yachonam yam yachadim shemo, Ervavocher b'chol yom tamid, Pa'amayim be'ahava, Shema omrim, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Adonai, lihiyot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adir Adirenu, Adonai Adonenu, Ma'adir Shimcha bechol haaretz, V'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, Vayom hahu yihi Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, U'b'divrei kodshecha, Katuv le'mor, Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Tzion, L'dor v'dor, Hallelujah.
We turn now to page 146.
Kedusha and Amidah, Shivcha Eloheinu Mikinu, Lo Yamush Leolam Vaed, Yeh Melech Gadol V'Kadosh Ata. Lai 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 We turn now to page 149, and we continue in our personal recitation of the Amidah. I invite you to daven in Hebrew or in English, or take some time in personal reflection. The Amidah continues through page 153, and you're welcome to have a seat when you've completed your recitation of the Amidah. We're on page 153, the last line on the page.
La
shalom. Vibroma, uyase shalom. Aleinu. May be seated briefly. We arrive now at the three sections of the Musaf service, Malchuyot, Zichronot, and Shofarot. There's great truth to be learned from the ram's horn, from the shofar. The shofar call begins with tekiah, a long, unbroken blast, progresses to shvarim, three plaintive notes, and finally reaches the staccato tru'ah. But the shofar always returns to tekiah. That is the growth of a spirit. First wholeness, then brokenness, shattering, and finally a new, stronger wholeness. Bowing, as we will in the Amidah in just a moment, teaches us the same lesson. We begin standing upright, bow down, and again stand upright. Hemingway is said to have written, "Life breaks all of us. Some grow stronger at the broken places." That is the wisdom of the rabbis who taught us for generations that we grow out not only out of triumph, but also through failure, humility, and even doubt. As the Kotzker Rebbe taught, there is nothing so whole as a broken heart. Judaism embodies the wisdom of paradox. By bowing, we are uplifted. By being broken, we can emerge whole. At this time, I invite you, if you'd like to participate in the full bowing to the ground, you can make your way to the aisles. The rest of us will please stand as we begin the Malchuyot section on page 154. And as I mentioned, we'll be bowing to the ground. So if you would like to do that as well, you can find your way to the aisles at this time. And we call forward ark openers, Alec Berger and Amy Kaufman.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol lahateit gedulah liyotzeh bereshit shelo asanu yikoyeh ha'aratzot משפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים. לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
We continue quietly. Remain standing as the ark is closed. We turn to page 157. In the middle of the page. Eloheinu v'Elokei avotenu v'imotenu kachenu b'mitzvotecha v'ten chilkenu b'toratecha saveinu mituvecha samcheinu b'shuatecha v'taher libeinu le'avdecha be'emet ki ata Elohim emet u'dvara emet v'kayam le'ad baruch ata Adonai melech al kol haaretz mekadesh Yisrael ve'yom hazikaron. Remain standing now for the sounding of the shofar on page 158. Page 158 at the bottom. Page 160. You remember the deeds of the world, and you are mindful of your creatures since the beginning of time. Before you stands revealed all that is hidden, every mystery from the moment of creation. Nothing is forgotten in your awe-inspiring presence, nothing concealed from your gaze. You remember every deed, and nothing in creation can be hidden from you. We turn now to page 161 for verses of remembrance. We ask God to remember us lovingly as a parent remembers a child. You'll find it towards the bottom of the page. It's the passage labeled Gimel on page 161.
Zachores Keren
remain standing now for the blowing of the shofar on page 162. Bottom of page 162. Tzvatenu yerav lefanecha eram venisa mevinu mazim avidu mashim lekot gatenu utkabel rachamim uveratzon zezer zichronotenu utkabel rachamim uveratzon zezer zichronotenu zichronotenu. We turn now to page 164. You revealed yourself in a cloud of glory to speak to your holy people, allowing them to hear your voice from the heavens. We arrive now at the Shofarot service on page 165. As I mentioned before, this beautiful psalm is about music, about praising God with everything we have, with every instrument, including the shofar that is mentioned here. Hallelu el bekodsho, Hallelu birkia uzo, Hallelu bigurota, Hallelu kerov ulo, Hallelu beteka shofar, Hallelu benevel lechino, Hallelujah, 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 בתוך ומחול, הללוהו במילים ועוגה, הללוהו בצלצלי שמיים, הללוהו בצלצלי תרועה, כל הנשמה תהלליה, כל הנשמה תהלליה. Standing for the shofar on page 166. שצבתנו ירב לפניך, אל רם ונישא, לבינו מזין, מביט ומקשיב, לכל תפילתנו, ותקבל רחמים וברצון, סדר שופרותינו, ותקבל רחמים וברצון, סדר שופרותינו, Remain standing now as we continue with our personal recitation of the Amidah on page 100 through page 169. I also want to remind you that those who have young children, child care concludes at 1:30, and so my apologies, but you'll have to get them soon. Page 167, we continue quiet. Israel, Tzilatam Be'avat, Tekva B'rotzon, Tzilatam Timid Bar Yisrael, Nircha, Tzchazem, B'tzeh, Modim, Enachnu, Shachim, Hamrachim, Tzilatam. Avinu Malkeinu, Zechor Rachamecha, Ukvosh Ka'asecha, טוב וחיים טובים כל בני בריתך, וכל חיים בחסלה, ויעלו שמך באמת היושבתם וזאתם סלע, ברוך אתה, טוב שמך ולחנן. שים שלום בעולם טובה ברכה, וחס וחיים בסדר חיים ברכה ושלום. Page 171. Yitkadal v'yitkad Hashem Rabbi, ve'alma divrach yurteh, ve'amlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'mechon, v'chayedechol b'Yisrael, b'galav v'zman kariv, v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbi mevorach, le'olam le'ol me'ol maya, yivarach Yishbach, Vishtabach, Vipa'ar, Virumam, Vinaseh, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shmei de Kudesha, Brichu, Le'ela, Le'ela, Mikol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nechemata, Namiran Be'alma, Ve'imru, Amen. Titkabel tzot v'chonde Kol Yisrael kadam avon dibishmaya v'imru Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al Kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Ose shalom b'imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al Kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Remain standing now as we turn to page 172. Please join us. You'll find the words for Ein Keloheinu in Hebrew and Ladino in your service guide on page 7.
Ein Keloheinu,
Ein Keloheinu, Ein Malkeinu, Ein Kedusha nuestro Dios,
no como nuestro Señor,
no como nuestro Rey, no como nuestro Salvador. Mi Keloheinu, mi Keloheinu, mi Malkeinu. ¿Quién como nuestro Señor? ¿Quién como nuestro Rey? ¿Quién como nuestro Salvador?
no del Eloheinu, no del Adonai,
No del Malkeinu,
no del Mashiach.
Loremos nuestro Dios,
Loremos nuestro Señor,
loremos nuestro Rey, loremos nuestro Salvador.
Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonai,
Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Hoshienu, bendito nuestro Dios, bendito nuestro Señor, bendito nuestro Rey, bendito nuestro Salvador.
Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonai,
Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Hoshienu, tú sos nuestro Dios, tú sos nuestro Señor, tú sos nuestro Rey, tú sos nuestro Salvador. Atahu Shekinu, Avoteinu, Evaneka, Torah Tasanim, Yada la la la, Yada la la la, Yada la la la, Yada la 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 la, Yada 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 la la la. We remain standing for Aleinu, page 173. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latei gedula leotzer reshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. חסד הארץ ומושלו בשמיים. Kaddish is on page 174. I invite those reciting Kaddish and those for whom it is your custom to remain standing. At the holidays in particular is a time when we feel the absence of loved ones most poignantly. And I invite you now to hold in your hearts all those that you remember and for whom you are reciting Kaddish. Page 174. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah ve'alma tivrach yirutei ve'amlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei b'chol beit Yisrael v'agala v'zman kariv ve'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam omel maya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yifa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh Vitadar, vitale, vitalal, shmei, kedusha, prichu, le'ela, mikol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran ve'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. You may be seated. I want to thank you again for joining us for this first day of Rosh Hashanah services. Tomorrow morning, we will have services again here at Bethany Lutheran Church at 9:30 in the morning and 9 o'clock for the main sanctuary service, the traditional service at HEA. Today we have Tashlich. This afternoon we are meeting at the Dahlin's house at the time that it might say on your tickets or in your service guide. It's around 4. We'll gather there. There'll be some cookies and some refreshments. And 4:30, we'll start heading toward the Highline Canal Trail, and we'll do Tashlich together. Yasher koach to Danny Tavbin, to Abigail leading our drumming team, and to all of our daveners this morning. Please join us for one more closing song. Please rise. You'll also find this in your service guide. Shana Tova! Shana Tova!
Shana Tova!